This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We're in Brooklyn, somewhere on the rooftop, somewhere you've brought me, Jim.
Yeah, it's like a little bit fresh up here.
It is fresh.
I think you'd agree with that.
Do you know what? I was thinking, is it going to be too cold for him? But then you do these 20-mile runs at 4 in the morning in the freezing cold, so this ain't nothing to you.
So I couldn't get out of this one, mate.
All weighed in. It's been a pretty good week here, press-wise. A lot of people have flown over, obviously from the UK, and I think people have taken to James here out in America. He's obviously been here and done it before, as in America, not New York. But how do you think he's been perceived?
Yeah, it's got the feel of a big fight. It's very atmospheric. Everyone's got a little bit of a buzz about it. There's loads of Brits out here. It reminds me of being away with Arsenal when we used to go away games. Everyone knows everyone, and everyone's out here for one reason, for James DeGALE and him to unify these belts. And James is on that buzz as well, and everything's just buzzing, rolling towards fight night.
I mean, Eddie Hearn made a point yesterday that in some respects James is seasoned in this sort of situation because he's kind of been here and done this. This isn't a sort of first time phase where, you know, is it going to get to him? He's been here and already done this.
The word experience you can't buy.
Yeah.
You earn. You go through experiences. James DeGALE, when we come here and got this first experience, was really challenged for the title against a fantastic fighter in Andre Durrell. And I remember exactly like today, like the media was unbelievable at the weigh-in, like everything was buzzing. And I see today, and I was thinking about that in my own mind when I see James receive that reception. Like the reception was fantastic. They've all started singing his name. But he was so cool, so calm, so collected, and still just totally focused on the prize. And that's the maturity of the boy over the last few years. And that boy is now the man, and I think it's going to show in his performance as well. He's just absolutely buzzing for this fight.
I mean, you can see in the way he's talking, the confidence is obviously literally dripping out of him, and the shape he's in. This is the best we've ever seen James DeGALE physically. I
don't know if you've got how many statements you keep on record, but if you look back at the stuff I always say, and things I've had printed, I've always said, like, when you win a world title, that ain't the hard bit. The hard bit is defending it. And that's when you've got to prepare like a challenger. And James is a challenger in this fight. He's challenging for the WBC, but he took it to another level. I mean, the difference when the energy you put into your body is what you get out. It's like a nice car. If it goes on petrol and you put diesel in, it ain't going to do the journey that clever. If you put the right juice in it, it'll fire on all cylinders. James DeGALE has been fueling his body with the right stuff, and it shows.
We've sort of heard James over the last sort of 2 to 3 years say that, you know, let me be injury free and then watch what I can do. But we do get the impression as well that we still haven't seen that very, very best James DeGALE. We've seen glimpses, but we haven't actually seen the best James DeGALE yet.
I think something I keep saying, and a few people say as well, I think the bright lights and the big fights, when James is tested, and I'm not being disrespectful to Medina or Lucian Boutte, but them fights physically he trained really hard for, but he weren't tested, because mentally he used to say to me, don't worry Jim, don't worry. But with this one, it's a different ball game. He knows BADOU Jack's a tremendous fighter, he knows what's at stake, you know, it's the biggest fight of his career, it's on the big stage, the hype for the fight, everything that surrounds it, and what's on and beyond. So for this fight, if anything, I've had to slow him down, make him miss a bit of training here and there, because he just wants to do so much. And I think you can see it on fight night, and I think, you know, people see it at the weigh-in today. He's in tremendous shape. Let's
talk about BADOU Jack as a fighter. I mean, people keep pointing out, you know, like a broken record almost such, that defeat he had to Derek Edwards, but it seems to be a defining moment in his career, because since then he's come on. I mean, it's a bit of a cliche to say he's improved dramatically, but in his situation he seems to have improved that much.
I think it's a testimony to him, and not. I think it's a testimony to him and not against him, and that is the fact that, you know, for someone to come back from a crushing knockout, a crushing defeat, and to come back and win a WBC title, that tells you something about the man. You know, this guy has got mental strength to burn, and that's why I've said to James all along, right from when this fight was made, this kid is mentally very, very strong, and you've got to be in the same department in that area, so you've got to prepare for this fight like you've never prepared for. And we've put that plan into action, and now you're seeing James DeGALE ready to produce what I believe will be the performance of his career.
Ever since the win against Durrell, the next objective for James was always to unify the titles. This is the point we're at the moment, but there seems like there is so much more that he can still accomplish in his career.
Yeah, you know, when you think he's a little baby still, really, in the boxing world. You know, he's so talented. I know I keep going on about it, but I've never seen a talent like it. And everything's so natural to James, but because of his ethic and his work mentality, not only is he naturally talented, but he works harder than most fighters you've ever seen in any boxing gym. And he's so ambitious to unify and to do things, and it's great because that's why he's the fighter he is and the person he is. He just wants to get better and better.
Didn't obviously want to talk to James about this today, but there was a little moment there with Carl Froch today, who was working for Sky, and I think they had a couple of words to each other. But did you see what Carl had to say about James?
Well, yeah, actually it's funny because I see what happened there, and I don't know Carl Froch, but he actually made a point of coming over to me after, talking to me and just saying, like, listen, I'm working, it's only an opinion. He said, I think what James has achieved and everything he's done is like fantastic. He said, like, I don't want him to think for 1 minute that, you know, he's a Brit, and he said, like, and I want him to know that everyone's behind him. So, but like at the moment, James is in the zone. Like, James don't care about Carl Froch. James don't care about like what anyone's thinking, what anyone's saying. He's just so focused in on BADOU Jack, and I'm sure after the fight they'll probably like just smile about it.
But I mean, it must be difficult. You're used to it now, Jim. There's a fight in front of you, but the media obviously comes in with, you know, what's going to happen 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, and you're talking about someone like Carl Froch who's retired, been retired for nearly 2 years now. So you're always going to get them questions. People asking about Callum Smith. He's flown over with Joe Gallagher, but you know, you're used to that now. The sort of the subplots that come with any big fight.
Yeah, I think the whole system of, like you say, Callum Smith who's on the radar. Obviously, it all goes well against BADOU Jack, so there's interest in, from Sky's perspective, to have Callum Smith sitting ringside. And it's all part of the dressing up of a fighter as well. I think this is all the bits of the jigsaw that you put together, having people, ex-champions like Frotz sitting ringside, you know, so you look around yourself and you're like thinking, that's him, like, and you just edging to like perform better. And some people can try too hard, and that's something that I think like a lot of guys can become their enemy, that they try too hard to impress and to look good and to fight a fight they don't need to fight. I think with James, it's one thing he's got a nice cold brain. Although he's hot-headed as a person, he's and can be tempestuous. I can honestly say that he's got a boxing brain like no one I've ever seen. He's got an ice bag on his head when he enters the ring. He's super cool. Nothing affects him. His temperament is sublime, and probably second to none. I've never seen anyone with a better temperament.
So we'll talk about Callum Smith for a second. Obviously he's here with Joe Gallagher. He's mandated to fight the winner of James and BADOU. Obviously Floyd Mayweather said yesterday that this is going to be BADOU Jack's last fight at super middleweights, which kind of leaves that sort of situation up in the air. He also put a situation out there that he thinks that if James was to get offered a big fight at light heavyweight by someone like Andre Ward, that, you know, he may not even be defending those titles. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I'll say that James is the most natural super middleweight like in the sport. You know, the division was made for him. He couldn't do middleweight, and obviously if middleweight weren't here, it'd have been a light heavyweight. So there's always a possibility down the line when he's looking for targets, looking for new goals, that could be something he could aim for. But right now he's totally focused on just clearing up the super middleweight division, and that's what I'm sure he'll do.
So how's your week been? Just break up the week for me.
You know, literally, like, we come out here like around Christmas time, trained in Miami for like about 10 days, finished off camp in Miami, like ticked all the last boxes of his training camp with last spar, last track session, last strength sessions, and everything's gone fine. And you know, we've been injury free. His sparring's been absolutely fantastic, and he's just resting up now and ready to go. And I really feel for it in my veins, looking how motivated James is and how serious he is about this fight. I think this is the performance we've all been waiting to see. We know how good he is, James, and I think in the big one, which is his unification fight, I think you're going to see a sublime performance from DeGALE, and people are going to realise why he is going to be the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
Big Libby at the press conference yesterday. Why didn't they give you the mic?
Well, you know what?
What happened?
I don't know what happened.
It was an hour press conference. It was time for Eddie Hearn to get his 9 minutes worth in there. So why was there no Jimmy Mack?
I think it was probably the Floyd Mayweather show. I think it's probably the TM, was it they call themselves the TMT or the TM,
Yeah, the TMT.
Yeah, I call it the Muppet Show. But like,
Well, apparently Belotti's been on the phone to Mayweather today, and he said, "Look, I'm not happy about this. Jimmy Mack couldn't speak at the presser, and I'm not, he's threatening to go home over it." So apparently,
all I can say to that is bosh.
well, listen. Hopefully, you'll have a lot of talking to do after the fight, anyway. So
yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm looking forward to a great night of boxing and a fantastic performance from James, and James bringing home 2 belts.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Regardless of what people think about James, like him or not, he's a Brit trying to unify the super middleweight division in America. Against, again, one of the best super middleweights there is out there in BADOU Jack. Everyone get behind him. Just,
One thing I can say is, I remember James going to Beijing Olympics. I think he was 80 to 1 underdog to bring home the gold medal, and he went and done it. So you can't never write this kid off from achieving anything. And like, for him to become an undisputed champion, for me as a trainer, a dream come true. And for James DeGALE, I'm sure he'll come out of the ring and go, when's the next one? When's the next one? He'll be looking to unify the division. That's the type of kid he is. He's always striving to be better and better. And get behind him, everyone, because he's a great kid and a great fighter.
Absolutely. All right, Jim McDonnell, thanks for talking to IFL TV. It's not that cold up there, is it, really?
Bosh!